Great rising, ancient ones. I woke up this morning. Um, I be on Facebook, right? Mainly sharing information. So I woke up to being attacked on Facebook. Well, that's what Facebook is all about, right? Attack people for this reason or that reason, whatever the case may be. That's the cesspool of Facebook. Anyway, I woke up to being attacked on Facebook, which personally I'm fine. I don't know these people and they're not important in my life, but it prompted me to start thinking about some of the things that my ancestors endured. So I decided that I wanted to go ahead and do a video. So, to the attackers, thank you, because you prompted a video that somebody can benefit from. So thank you for your attacks. So I was being attacked because there was a post where the caption said it showed a woman doing a lot of stuff for her family. And it said something about African women do a lot for their family or something to that effect. And I said, no, it was like take a moment to celebrate African women and all they do for their families or something I'm paraphrasing. So I said, well, I'm not African, but I can definitely relate to this picture. Can we take a moment to celebrate all women who do for their family? And really, to be quite honest, all men, because you have some single fathers out there that's handling business for their family. But anyway, I was just saying, can we just celebrate all women? And then the attacks started. The attacks started. They came in with oh, you're African, you just hate yourself, saying you're not African. Well, no, first of all, let me back up. They asked me, what am I? I said, well, first, I'm a woman, hence the reason why I commented on the post. And secondly, I'm an Indigenous American woman, hence the reason why I said all women. Now, it should have just stayed there, right? It should have just stayed there. But the colonized programming kicked in for 3 women. That colonized programming clicked in, and so they came in like a pack of hyenas with trying their African conversion on me. So they went through the famous self-hate comment. That one's a classic. They always pull that one out the archive. So they attempted to colonize me with the self-hatred. Oh, you hate yourself because you're saying you're not African. Well, that one didn't work. So then they came with the bashing of, oh, you're ignorant. And that one didn't work either. I was still an Indigenous American, despite all of their comments. And so they came with the whole, ask your slave master who you are. That one right there. Now, that one's a classic. That one's a classic. Now, mind you, they won't use that in reference to the many European slaves that came here. They won't tell them, ask your slave master who your family is. No. Mm-mm. They reserve that particular jewel to attack people who have various shades of brown skin like them. That one is only reserved to be used on us. So I told them, I said, well, my people wasn't slaves. So that one doesn't work on me either. And then so another hyena comes in with their attacks, and since it wasn't working, they began to play the victim role. And one explains, oh, I'm part African American. I really don't know what that is. I don't know of a place called Africa Americas, but okay, be whatever you want to be. Then she said, I'm part Hispanic. Okay, Hispanic is a culture, not a people, but okay, be whatever you want to be. And then she said, and my grandmother is, or my mother is something that's part Blackfoot. And I'm like, classic. So after attempting to drag me and convert me, you pull out the indigenous grandparent out the closet. And I say the closet because you were riding hard for Africa at first. Only Africa. But when you saw that your attempts was not working, you pull out the indigenous grandparent. The one you like to keep shoved in the back room and not let anybody know anything about. So it just made me think about how you often hear people saying, well, after they did their own research to find out their family lineage, my family never talked about this. Well, think about it. How can your family talk about it when we're getting attacked from all ends? Everywhere we look, we're getting attacked. We're getting attacked from the Tobahataks, which a lot of people might call white folks, and white being a political and socio-economic status, right? Top of the ladder, white. Because you can come from Northern Africa and be considered white and can be my complexion or darker. So we're getting attacked from the people on the top of the political status, the ones that decide to rename us and reclassify us and do all of that. So we're getting attacked from them, right? Then we're getting attacked from the people who have been programmed into believing that they're African, because we don't get attacked from people who are actually African, from people who know of their, it's a plane going over above, people who know of their tribal affiliations. You know, I have been around many Nigerians. I have been around many people from Cameroon and Senegal and places like that, and not one of them attacked me for being who I am. So they don't have a problem. Matter of fact, they'll look at me and let me know that I'm American, right? If I even attempted to claim to be from their tribe, and they would correct me immediately and say, no ma'am, you're American. So I don't have a problem with the people who are actually from Africa and actually know their tribal affiliations. Never have any attacks coming from them. It's only the people who have been born and raised in the United States that know nothing of Africa outside of reading a book or some other things like that. Those are the ones that we receive the onslaught of attacks from. So we get attacked from them. And then we get attacked from these people that are on these reservations. I will not say the elders, right? Because the elders usually do not participate in foolishness. And they usually hold some of the real knowledge, you know. I'm not sure whether they're spreading this knowledge to the youth or not, or if the youth have gotten so into themselves and so selfish to where they don't care anything about the knowledge. I don't know what's going on there, because I was raised on an urban reservation, not the rural one. But we're getting attacked from these ones that are put in on a concentration camp called a reservation, a rural reservation, and made to feel like they're special. And they're coming at us with this, oh, you're African. Now, mind you, all of these people with their claims of you're African do not have the ability of looking at someone and saying what they are. Do not have the ability of looking at you and being able to see your entire bloodline. None of them. It's all fantasy, colonized mindsets of attempting to convert people into what they want you to be. Very similar to, you know, the conversion that we dealt with Christianity and things of that nature. But the attacks, outside of the attacks that we received from the government, to where we could not celebrate who we are because we could be in prison, or you might just be killed by some ignorant person who didn't like what you said. And all you was just doing was being you, being who your grandparents are. So I say that to say, do not be afraid to stand up and say who you are. Will you get attacked? More than likely you'll get attacked from ignorant people, especially online, because in real life, you don't really deal with as much as you do in this fantasy world called online. You know, it's like this whole element of attack people. But I can honestly say in real life, I do not encounter the level of ignorance that is displayed on social media platforms such as Facebook, YouTube. I'm not sure about Instagram because I'm not really on there like that, but I'm sure Twitter and Instagram, wherever you have a collage of people with different mindsets and all forms of colonization happening, you're more than likely going to deal with the attacks. But in real life, no, I cannot say that in real life that I receive those type of attacks. Only on social media. And they have this misconception that brown skin in any of its shades equates to a colonized place called Africa, which was originally a Carthaginian region, a little small region in North Africa, and a little small region in South Africa. It was not in reference to the whole entire continent. Nor did those people over there on that side originally call themselves African. Nor do they call themselves African. They have tribal affiliations, okay? They're very proud of their tribes and their rich heritage. It is only the ignorant people here in the United States that has been educated up under a colonialized, colonized system that continue. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. No. That my daughter don't want to be on video. That continuously try to tell you that you are something that you are not. It's like, allow me to be who I am, right? Whatever I want to be, allow me to be who I am. I'm not harming you. I'm not destroying your rich history by celebrating my history. So, yeah. I mean, it's what we go through. It's what we go through. Don't let it stop you from being who you are, celebrating your ancestors, whoever they are, wherever they come from. Let them be mad. Let them be big mad if they want to be. Keep doing you. Keep doing you. And just pay close attention to the colonized mindset and how quick they are to tell you who you are, but they don't know their family. If you ask them, do you know who your 5th great grandparent is, your 8th great grandparent, your 13th great grandparent is? Hell, do you know who your great great grandparent is? They're going to come up with some type of excuse about how they can't get the records, how they people came here on the slave ship. It's going to be a bunch of excuses as to why they don't care enough to know who they are, but they are so obsessed with who you are. The same's going to go for these young ones on the res trying to tell you who you are. If you ask them who they people are and where was they people before all of these concentration camp roles, like the Dawes roles and all of these, because they are concentration camp roles, okay? They were set up to take stock of all the prisoners that was in that area. If you ask them where was your people at before that, they're going to look at you like, well, what you mean? They're always going to reference those roles. Well, before those roles and before you got moved somewhere that you didn't originally come from, where were you and who were your people? It's a wake-up call for them too. Because if you believe that the BIA, which was formed in the War Department, can we say that again? The War Department sent you out somewhere for you to retain your culture, retain your history, you are sadly mistaken. Again, let's rewind that. The War Department. You don't send the people out somewhere else just to be who they are. You send them out there to destroy their culture, to make them forget, to instill in them hatred and separation from their people. The ones that did not march off into some unknown land, into enemy territory, with the hopes that maybe they'll survive. Again, the War Department. Many of our ancestors did not, let me repeat, did not take that journey into the unknown, into enemy territory, with the hopes that maybe we would survive. They stayed behind in the territory that they had always known, where they knew the creeks, where they knew the forests, where they knew all the secret passages in case they had to run to freedom. Can we say Underground Railroad that went all the way into Mexico? Don't let them fool you. Don't let them make you believe that the Underground Railroad had to do anything with African slaves. Again, the War Department. Many of our ancestors stayed behind because they could navigate the territory that they knew. And they got labeled colored, Negro, black, mulatto, and this nonsense called African American. But I tell you what, I personally salute my ancestors who decided to stay behind, that decided that they was not going to go into the unknown and risk their entire bloodline being destroyed. I salute their sacrifice. And I am not ashamed of the fact that they stayed behind and they took a designation that was not theirs. And I'm here right now as the Ancient One to reclaim our ancient history. They made their sacrifice, now I'm making mine. So no attempts to Africanize me by comments and fantasy suggestions is going to work, because you just don't matter that much to me in my life. My ancestors matter more to me. So with that being said, Ancient Ones, be strong and ignore and resist all attempts for anyone to try to Africanize you. Peace, love, light, Ancient Ones.